Okay. Now, restarting the tutorial, take two. Welcome to the NG Plus tutorial. First, I'm going to teach you guys how to set up your NG Plus file. And in part two, I'm going to explain, what strats to do or what alternative strats to do as well. If you don't want to do world record strats. And yeah, I'll be explaining other like tips and tricks in the video as well. So part one, let's get your file set up. First, you want to get into debug mode. If you don't know how to get into debug mode, there'll be a link in the description on how to do that. But as you can see, I have debug mode because if I press all the triggers, I go into free cam mode, and that's a good indication of whether you have debug mode on or not. Thank you, Chim. So there's a couple of things you want to be able to know how to do with debug mode. One is to hold R2 to fly. That one's pretty easy. Another thing, pressing all the triggers, just like I said earlier, allows you to go into free cam mode, and then you just press all the triggers again to go out. Another thing, if you bonk into something or you like immediately take damage somewhere, you can press R2 to like heal yourself. So you see I have an extra health now. So first of all, let's see if you have Citadel Skip or not. This is important. If you already know if your copy of Jak and Daxter has Citadel Skip or not, then skip ahead. But generally, if you have like a black label or a platinum label of this game for PS2, then you'll be able to do it. So yeah, if you don't know, this is what you're gonna do. So you're gonna hold L3, which is the left stick. You're gonna go into this portal. You should have everything unlocked because you held L3, and then you want to go to Golem Citadel. Now it's important here. After you teleport to Citadel, do not free cam. So do not press all the triggers. This is very important. You can float. And what you're gonna do here is watch this cutscene here. Or if you want, if you already know how to do Citadel Skip, then do Citadel Skip. But if not, you have to watch the entire cutscene. So yeah. So I'm gonna go ahead and do Citadel Skip. You just want to pause buffer, which is pressing L2 and start at the same time, or R2 and start. Actually, you can't do R2 and start because you have debug mode on, and R2 makes you float. But anyway, you want to press L2 and start at the same time, and then within 2.5 seconds, you want to die. So that's that. Like I said, if you don't know how to do it, or if you don't previously have that knowledge, then I would just recommend watching the cutscene. And then what you do is after that cutscene is over, you want to save and load the game or the file that you're on. And if you land up here, then congrats, you have Citadel Skip. And if not, if you save and load and you end up down there, then bummer, you don't have it. So now that you've determined whether you have Citadel Skip or not, let's talk about file setup. File setup, ladies and gentlemen. So what you want to do? What you want to do is load. I usually use my first 2 files for setup. So I'll take this file right here. Actually, we'll start over on a different file. We'll make it again. What I usually do is, I load my file 2 for setup. And then from here, we'll wait for it to load. And you want to be in Geyser. You want to make your way back to Geyser Rock while doing this. And then, actually, let me go ahead and reset the game. Like a brand new file. Now I'm going to hold L1 and R1 while in the menu. And what that does, you see that if I hover over each power cell, then it automatically gives it to me. So by holding L1 and R1, you want to give yourself all of the cells except for the Citadel cells. This is very important. This is kind of like a pseudo NG plus. It's not like a true NG plus, but this is how we set up our file. So you want to give yourself all the cells and not the Citadel cells, so you should end up with 96. After Lava Tube, let go of L1 and R1, and you shouldn't get these cells. So now, what you want to do, well, you'll get all the cells here. You don't have to wait for this, but you make your save. So you save on, I usually save on the second file here. It doesn't matter which file you save it onto, whichever file you want to use your runs for. This is like the second file right here, or the first save I made right here is kind of like your base file. And this is what you're going to use when you like reset your runs. You're going to end up, because if you, I'll explain later. So make a save here, and then you're going to make a second save. What I usually do is on my first file. And this is the file you're going to be doing runs on. And so from here, you want to turn off debug mode, which again, that information is in the description. And then you're going to load your file. And then you're going to take out your memory card. Now you can take out your memory card as early as like the black screen. When you load a file, there's like a black screen and then you end up in Geyser. You can take your file out during that. You can take your memory card out during that black screen if you want. And then from here, if you have like a timer or anything, I use live split. You can use whatever the frick. You can use your phone timer if you want, as long as you're recording. As long as you're recording your gameplay somehow. And then you want to start the game just by pressing X. And starting your timer at that same time. And then from here, you can just watch a video for, you know, the route and whatnot. It's not much of a route. It's not too difficult, but here are some alternative strats I want to talk about for the run here. I actually have debug off. I'm going to turn that back on. So if you already know what the frick you're doing for routing and you know what you want to do for the route, then click off this video. You're done. Congratulations. Good luck. If you don't know what strats you want to do, I will help you determine that. So this is all the same, getting up to Kira and whatnot. Once you get up to Kira, there are a couple things you can do here. There's two different Fire Canyon routes, one of which is the easy one and the other one is more difficult and probably saves. Oh, okay. Hi, Kira. One of which saves like less than a second. But here goes. You can do the normal route, which I'm going to do right now. There's one difference between the normal route and the harder route. And the normal route just kind of goes straight through here. Just like normal. And then the more difficult route sort of does, after you pass these two lurkers, you're going to go to the left here, in between that wall. And that wall is a little tricky to get through, because this wall right here is it goes out a little wider than you think. So this is kind of a tight gap. And the whole idea is just to go through here and hit that lurker and hop over this. But you don't have to do that. You can totally just go to the right here. It saves, or that loses like less than a second. So it really doesn't matter all too much, especially if it's like your first couple of runs. Next thing I want to talk about. One thing you're gonna want to learn how to do is to know how to do a boosted. I'll leave Boomer's tutorial on how to do a boosted if you want to know it. If you don't know how to do a boosted, that's totally fine. You don't have to know. What you can do is go this route. Well, you don't want to dive there, but you can, like, punch off of this if you'd like. And then I believe you can swim just over here from there. You can also do, like, a uppercut if you want to be safe. More than likely, you'll end up getting a boosted off of that anyway, because that's a very odd platform. And then you want to do that roll jump, high jump there. That's not crazy difficult. But if you fail it, you can just like land down here and then do a double jump spin to get up. Or if you don't want to do either of those, you can always just go around. And that's totally fine too. Another thing you want to learn how to do is Boulder Skip. Now, Boulder Skip is one of those things where you pretty much need to have a decent extended uppercut under your belt. And extended uppercuts are pretty difficult at first. The idea is you want to get a lot of height out of extended uppercuts. And boosted uppercuts gives you more length. It gives you more distance. Yeah, extended uppercuts prioritize height. And what you want to do here, if you don't know, in order to get a decent one, you kind of want to hold square as you fall. And then when you want to go up, then obviously you press X. So the inputs for a extended uppercut is square, X, circle. And square does the punch, X does the jump into the air, and then circle does the spin. So it looks like that. And the deeper you go, the higher you're going to end up. So you see how I go pretty high there. If you don't go that deep, then you don't go as high. And you don't go as far. So the key is to hold square. And then slide your fingers across to X and circle. So it takes a bit of practice, but you will eventually get it, I promise. So why did I teach you that? Why did I teach you that? So you want to be able to do Boulder Skip. And the idea here is to do an extended uppercut onto this rock here. You kind of want to land in this plant, this dark plant, or slightly to the right of it. Although if you go too much right, you'll definitely just slide off. But you generally just want to be in here. And then from here, you want to hold forward. You want to hold forward. It's better if start from here again. You want to hold forward as soon as you get your footing again. And this trick can be a little finicky. This can definitely happen. I'm glad that happened actually, because that. Don't be startled if that ever happens to you. It happens to everyone. It happens to everyone. Maybe not that often, but you can kind of save yourself by holding forward the entire time. That'll keep you on the rock for the most part. And then you just want to double jump spin to grab this ledge. This is kind of another semi-difficult trick. That's probably the hardest thing you have to learn. That's required for the run. Is Boulder Skip. So once you get here, there's two different things you can do here. The world record strat, and it's a very, very inconsistent strat, and easily the largest run killer, is Lava Walk. And Lava Walk doesn't deserve too much of a tutorial, because there's not much to do here. It just really depends on if the game wants to give you the trick or not. And there's nothing more to it. But the entire idea here is just you want to... Well, you can wait for Claw to throw all his boulders. And then what you want to do is try to grab this right part of the ledge. Like in the corner here. And if you do that successfully, then you should... Well, actually, hold on. Let me soft lock the game real quick. You should be able to grab the ledge, and then you just let go of the ledge by holding back and pressing X. Let me try and get it again here. That can happen too sometimes, which is pretty cool. But yeah, you just want to hold back and X to get off the ledge, and then you land in the lava here. Once again, it's a very, very inconsistent trick. and I don't recommend you do this if you're just starting to play the game. But if you have a decent understanding of this game as a speed game, then I would recommend going for it because it's a really short category anyway. And then from here, it's pretty simple. Just double jump, spin onto this platform. You can guarantee ledge grabs by getting around here, by ledge grabbing around here or around here. I don't recommend ledge grabbing toward the middle. It's less reliable. Sometimes Jack will like get stuck inside the rock when he jumps and you don't reach the ledge for some reason. So I definitely would recommend you ledge grab to the left or the right. And that's pretty much it for this trick. Now, if it takes you a long time to ledge grab, like if it takes forever but you get it, I would recommend that you grab the checkpoint here. Grab the checkpoint here, and then you die in the lava. So the checkpoint is like, it's pretty much as soon as you get onto this grass patch, you should get it. I would walk like a little bit forward just to make sure you get the checkpoint, and then die in here. But if you're fast enough, then you won't really have to worry about that. And how to tell if you're fast enough, just keep doing it and you'll eventually figure out whether you're fast enough or not. But yeah, that's really it for Lava Walk. Oh yeah, this boulder getting stuck, by the way, like if you wanted to practice this, you could either kill Claw. Yeah, you could just kill Claw, and then you could do this as much as you want. As much as you want. But this boulder getting stuck is NTSC only. For some reason on PAL, this does not work. So, yeah, just a thought there. But here's the alternative strat, and one I recommend if you're a first-time speedrunner. So what you want to do is, after you get this claw cutscene, the raw cutscene, so I'll show it again. Get over here after Boulder Skip. Get this claw cutscene. Then what you want to do here, go ahead and move along to Boggy Swamp. So, make your way to Boggy. Right. Actually, I'll show you movement for that because you don't generally see this a ton in some of my runs. This is like general movement for this. And then what you want to do, I actually free cam, so this isn't going to work. Yeah, I guess I'll do it without free camming. But the whole idea is that you want to stand on this rock, right? And as soon as you land on this rock, you want to have like another timer. If you have live split, this is actually great. This is actually great because you have splits. And once you land on this rock, you want to hit that split button. And then, so for some reason, Jack does this. He has this weird. So it's called idle deload, right? I'm gonna go ahead and reset the timer, but after 30 seconds of standing still, Jack does his idle animation, right? And so the whole idea behind idle deload is to pause buffer, so which is pressing L2 and start at the same time, or R2 and start at the same time. And you want that pause buffer to it activates for 2.5 seconds, and you want it to overlap the start of Jack's idle animation. So you want it to overlap that 30-second mark. So in theory, the earliest you could pause buffer is 27.5 seconds in of standing still. What I generally like to do is to try and pause buffer about 28 seconds in, 28.5 seconds in, to just make sure that, you know, just to ensure that I actually get the idle deload. But I will show you exactly what that looks like. And if you get the trick successfully, then you should fall through the ground. Now, pause buffering is kind of weird. If you've never pause buffered before, once again, it's L2 and start at the same time, or R2 and start at the same time. And you'll see that when I do it, you'll see in the top left corner that the health has no number. So you'll just see Jack's health bar without a number. So yeah, that just delays the pause by 2.5 seconds. That's all it does. So that's how you know you did it successfully. That's all a pause buffer is. And that works on every console, every version. So let me show you what doing idle deload looks like entirely. Oh, gotta restart the game first. Okay. Yeah, Alamusa. Kind of looks like this. Make your way to the rock. As soon as you land on it, hit that space bar. Yo, Deku, thank you for the host, dude. Hope you're streaming well. And so you're gonna look at that timer, and you're gonna wait till it gets about 28 and a half seconds ish, and then you're gonna pause buffer. Don't worry, if you fail it the first time, then you're fine. Just try it again and keep trying until you get it. So you can fail it a bunch of times and you'll be fine. So what you want to do is wait for about 4 seconds. You want to wait about 4 to 5 seconds in this pause screen right here. Or you can wait longer. It doesn't matter. But at the earliest, you want it to be about 4 seconds. And then you want to unpause. And what this does, it's going to take you right behind Claw. So that's how you do Claw Skip the other way. The recommended way of Claw Skip. For Mountain Pass, one thing about Mountain Pass, there's not a whole lot to talk about here. But if you find that you're really, really good at Mountain Pass and you don't crash anywhere, and if you watch like my videos, you'll see that most of the time my Mountain Passes are pretty clean. If your Mountain Pass are also clean like that, then what I would recommend doing is well, you know, you're driving through, yada yada. Where'd I go? You're driving through. Okay. Once you get to this last hop over this area, what I usually do is I hold. I'm still holding X, but I also hold square as well, and I slow down. I slow down all the way, so I'm holding X and square this whole time. As soon as I land on here, or not on here, but if I land in front of these Dark Eco crates, I'm holding X and square the entire time until I get to about here, or a little later than that. And and then here I can let go of square and just go full throttle into this dude. So the reason is, if you get too far away from the purple lurkers you're racing, then you lose. For some reason the game thinks like you're too far. Well, you are too far away, but the game thinks that you're too far behind the purple lurkers when really you're too far ahead. Now, if you're just starting to speedrun, I really wouldn't worry about this. Like you're gonna crash quite a bit in Mountain Pass if you're just starting, and that's very normal. But yeah, just a thing. If you end up getting really, really good at driving. So next thing, after Mountain Pass, there's actually gonna be no power cell here. When you play. So for Volcanic Crater movement, I would recommend you watch the world record here. This movement is not like crazy. But But if not, I mean, you could totally just like, I guess there's not many options if you don't know how to do a boosted. But I guess you could go this way, but this is the crazier way. Yeah, I just recommend going down the middle here, just like I do in the videos. You know, doing this uppercut. You don't have to do a boosted if you don't want to over here, which is what I do here. You could just do an uppercut. An uppercut. You just do an uppercut and just walk across these platforms if you want. That's totally fine. Everything else is pretty much the same. Nothing crazy here. Lava tube. I have a couple tips about lava tube. So one thing here. When collecting this, there's gonna be blue eco in like the secret area. There's 2 blue eco, and it's very, very, very important that you get both of these eco. And to do that, what you're gonna want to do is, as you collect this first eco, you want to hold X and square at the same time, right? You're gonna hold X and square at the same time, and you don't ever want to let go of X. If you want to slow down, while on zoomer, yikes, I'm going to die. Ah! I guess I just die here. So you never, while you're on a zoomer, you want to never ever let go of X. If you want to slow down, you just want to press X and square at the same time. And that's how you slow down. So that's very important here when you're grabbing these 2 blue eco. Very important here. You want to grab this eco and kind of ride the left wall a little bit, and then you grab the second eco. For some reason, the game doesn't allow you to grab 2 blue eco just like back to back really fast, because there's like a grace period. Oh, well, in regular NG Plus runs, this door is going to be open. And you don't have to destroy the oranges. So you can just drive right on through. This file has 0 power cells, so yeah. That's pretty much it for lava tube. I think that's really the only important thing about it. Then we're gonna go right into Citadel here. A couple of other important things about Citadel that I want to point out. Alright, so once you get through lava tube, there's not going to be any power cells here or anything like that. And there's no portal either. I actually don't know why that's not there. This is awkward. Okay. Guess I'm gonna die. Where am I? Okay. That's really funny. Anyway. So this power cell's already gonna be gone, but I'm gonna grab it for the sake of the video. So you're gonna land in here with the zoomer. You're gonna pop out over here, and then what you're, if you're in debug mode, and you want to practice this, you can't actually pause buffer with R2 and start because you'll just float every time. So if you want to work on it, then I would recommend turning off debug mode. But I'm just gonna keep debug mode on now because you can just use L2 and start for pause buffering. So the whole idea here for this Kira cutscene skip is you want to be standing to the right of this button. This is very important because if you I'm actually make a save. Okay, so I actually turned debug mode off. So it's very important that you pause buffer from the right side of this button here. Because if you were to pause buffer and then hit the button, immediately you'd get this pause. And an NG plus, this is bad juju. You are screwed and you have to watch the cutscene. In only this category. In other categories, you could set it up to where you could just load your file back and then you can try it again. But an NG plus only, you cannot try a second time. It's very odd, but it has to do with hard locking toward the end, or soft locking toward the end. So that's one thing I definitely want to say about that. So how to do this correctly. So you don't stand over here, don't stand here, don't stand here, you stand over here. Right to the right side of the button. And then you want to pause buffer, and if you do that correctly, if you already know how to pause buffer if you've gotten this far. But yeah, there's no number next to your health. That's how you know you've got it. Which means you have 2.5 seconds as soon as you pause buffer to skip this cutscene. Right, so what you want to do is pause buffer, then you want to smack the button, which you just press circle. But you have to make sure you pause buffer before you do that. Spin, and then die immediately. And that skips the entire cutscene and you can move on. A couple things here. Because you're on the right side of the button, you can't, or you have to walk around Kira, which is kind of odd. But you can, it's not too bad, but yeah, just know that Kira is a solid entity right there, and you have to walk around her and die. So pause buffer from the right side of the button, hit the button, walk around Kira, and die, and that's it. And you want to move on. Now, what you want to do here is you want to stand right in front of this door. Usually I look onto the right side of this area. So it's kind of the same concept here. You want to pause buffer and then walk through the door, which activates the cutscene, and then you want to die before the game pauses you. So before the 2.5 seconds are up. So once again, pause buffer, roll through, die immediately. Well, you activated the cutscene and then died while the cutscene was activated, so the cutscene is skipped. And if you have a good Citadel copy, or if you have a good Jack copy, then you should land up here. Now, if you don't, that's okay too. Actually, if you have like a red label or something, what I would recommend for your file setups, I would recommend you actually give yourself all 101 cells. If you still want to run this category, I would recommend giving yourself all the cells. And then you can just climb normally. There's like a... if you've played this game before, there are like steps that lead up to the top of Citadel. You want to take those steps. And then from here, what you want to do, you can actually pause buffer this again. You don't have to though. You can just press L2 or R2. Press L2 or R2 and then spin kick this lamp. And then as the cell is about to land on the ground, you want to press start. So it's kind of, it's a little tricky at first, but if you practice this beforehand, it really shouldn't be too bad. So you're going to press L2 or R2. Kick the lamp. Wait for the cell, and right before it touches the ground, you want to pause. There's actually quite a big window for this. And if it gives you the cell, like if you get the cell cutscene, then you were too late on the pause. Oh, really, Mike? I didn't know that. We can talk about it somewhere else, like in the comments. If you want to play this on PS4, I guess there's a workaround, but I don't know about it. So maybe Mike will mention it somewhere else. So yeah, press L2, spin kick this. Wait until the cell is about to reach the ground, then press pause. And you should know if you get it. There's in general there's gonna be on the bottom left corner like an autosave, but that doesn't work because you haven't saved. The autosave only activates when you saved on that file already and you haven't yet. So the visual cue here is seeing that the cell is on the ground. If the cell is on the ground while you're paused, then you know you did it right. And then you save and load your file. So I'll show you what that looks like right now. Picked up. I made a save on this file. So this is what you don't want to do. Yeah, because I've made a save on that file already, this is exactly what happens. And the reason why, if you fail the Kira cutscene skip, once, you have to watch the cutscene, because if you make a save on that file, this is going to happen when you get up to Citadel. But I mean, after this, I really don't have anything else to explain. I guess there's like one frame stuff, but no one really needs to know that. No one needs to know that unless, you know, you want to. If you already know, if you have like a lot of experience in this game, then you already know about these. So there's probably no reason to talk about it. By the way, join the Jack Discord. I'll leave a link for that too. But there's like, oh wait, no, actually there is something else I want to explain. Frick. Okay. I gotta get back in there. So if you're not doing the one frames, and if this is your first time speedrunning this game, then yeah, you shouldn't be doing them, and this is what you're gonna end up doing in Final Boss. These are your strats you want to do in Final Boss. If I can make it there. Alright, epic. So now, this is what should happen if you did the thing correctly. Take this bad boy up. This is kind of like a clock. You want to stand around like 2 o'clock here. And the box right in front of you should be the blue eco thing. And then you're going to see like this jump pad. It's going to like fly forward. It's going to fly forward. And then it's going to have like a sudden change in direction. And then there's going to be a second change in direction. And you're going to wait a couple seconds after that second change of direction. And then you die. It's kind of weird, so I'll talk it out as I go. What? Oh frick! Hold on. Only one change of direction. Whoops. I thought there was a first change of direction. I guess this technically is the first. There's your first change of direction. Here's your second. 1, 2, die. Boom. And then you'll land up here. So that just saves a few seconds, and it'll reset your health as well. Just in case you somehow had less than 3 health here. Obviously you want to play the final fight like normal. Zoom in here. Shoot those bad boys. And this is important. We're not doing the one frame. And you shouldn't be, if you're just learning this. You're going to want to take a look at the robot. And the robot's going to like fly away. And then he's going to turn around back toward you. And after he's turned around back toward you is when you're going to want to jump off of the blue eco pad. You can't really do it any earlier than that. That's the fastest you can do it. So you look at the robot here. You see he's turned around. So that means you can jump.
Eco won't protect you now.
That's the earliest you can do it. Grab your health if you want. You're going to do the second phase just like normal. Once again, you're going to take a look at the robot. As soon as he turns around, you can jump. For this phase, I recommend just like sitting on this bottom left yellow eco here, punching through it, and then just standing in front of the robot as you spam shoot his things. But you don't want to get too close to the edge or else the rings will knock you off. And you see as soon as the robot turned around, that's when you can jump again. I was just a little bit late on that one, but yeah. And here, you want to get 2 yellow eco. And if you have if 2 or more health, you can just spam square here. You can just spam square. And that's pretty much it, dude. That's pretty much it for the final fight. Just those few things is all you have to know for this. And if you have any questions, guys, make sure to freaking ask in the comments. I would love to help you guys out. But yeah, that should be like a less than an hour tutorial on setup, how to know if you have Citadel skill, and all the pointers that I have for this category. A pretty short category. Your first run is going to be less than 20 minutes most likely. So yeah, good luck on your endeavors, and thanks for watching.